Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news takes us right to I-40 westbound near the exit 293. That's the exit only that takes you to all points south and west and US 1. This is a virtual parking lot involving a crash. I'll let you know how to get around it.
Also breaking news out of Durham this morning. A man is dead and another has life-threatening injuries after a shooting shortly after midnight. This is a live look right now at that scene where police have been now for nearly 6 hours.
And after yesterday's cold front, our temperatures are cooling down. It's a pleasant start this morning, but I'll show you when temperatures will be down closer to freezing in some places. A plane hit by bullets as it makes its final approach to an airport in Haiti. The response from Spirit and other airlines after the dangerous situation for passengers. A lot happening in the overnight hours and here into the early morning hours. We're covering it all for you on this Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. It is 6 o'clock. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. We're going to see a cool down. OK, it's going to act like November a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of rain, too, down the road. But today, Elizabeth, today's going to be gorgeous.
It really is beautiful. As a matter of fact, we're starting gorgeous. Take a look here. Completely clear skies after yesterday's front. We have a drier air mass. It's going to feel much more crisp today. Our temperatures are in the mid-40s. And this is a look, of course, across downtown Raleigh where that sun is just beginning to light up the horizon. 55 is the temperature, so pleasantly cool. That's going to be comfortable if you're going to be out walking the dog or for a run this morning. Our temperature this afternoon also feeling great at 68 degrees under mainly clear skies. Watching the tropics, this system now has up to a 70% chance of developing. We'll take a look at where it could be headed over the next week or so. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of breaking news right now. Let's get right to it. I-40 westbound near US 1. A crash involving a pedestrian, according to Raleigh Wake 911 calls. You can see this backup stretching all the way back past Gorman Street this morning. Sky 5 over that scene right now to show you exactly what that's mean. Now we're showing you exactly where that scene is right there at exit 293. Exit 293, that's an exit-only lane that takes you to US 1 and all points west. You can see the backup is stretching all the way back to Gorman Street, possibly back to Lake Wheeler Road. If you're listening to us on the radio at 101.5 HD3, get off on the nearest exit, maybe Lake Wheeler Road, even Rock Quarry Road, South Saunders. Get off at any of those exits. Make your way over to Tryon Road, Dillard Drive, Walnut Street, and over to US 1. That will get you back to the Beltline and I-40 westbound this morning. But as you can see, it's a virtual parking lot out there on I-40 westbound this morning. We'll, of course, keep you updated here in the WRAL Traffic Center. Back here in the Traffic Center, here's what it looks like from the ground. This is a live cam network at I-40 Avon Ferry Road. Nothing is moving. Just a little while ago, we saw some emergency vehicles going down the shoulder of the road just to get to that incident. We're being told that this could be this way for the next hour and a half. So listen, you're coming in from Garner, from Johnston County. Use the northern loop of the Beltline just to be on the safe side and avoid what's happening here in these westbound lanes here on I-40. Elsewhere, really, all the other major routes are delay-free. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio. 101.5 HD3 will keep you updated. You also have an opportunity to listen to us on 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Following breaking news out of Durham this morning, a man is dead and another has serious injuries after an early morning shooting that happened on Leadnam Street. You see it on this map here. Happened just after midnight. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from that scene right now. Laura, this is the same area where another man was shot Sunday night.
Jeff, we're talking about two shootings in this North Durham apartment complex, a little over 24 hours apart. Durham police have been on the scene this morning for about 6 hours now. You can see several officers and investigators here on the scene, forensics on the scene. And this is a fairly large investigation that we're seeing play out here with evidence markers scattered across the parking lot. Durham police got the call of shots fired here shortly after midnight between Leadnam and Leon Streets. Now, police tell us a few minutes later after that call, they learned a man was driven to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Officers then found a man here on the scene here on Leadnam Street, shot dead. On Sunday night, taking you to that scene now, Durham police responded to a shooting on the same block. They found a man who had been shot, and he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So we are talking about 3 people impacted by gun violence here in the past few days in Durham. This morning, we are working to learn more about what led up to this shooting. And right now, we still don't have any information about suspects at this time. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Durham.
A woman from Southern Pines is dead after driving around barricades on I-40 in the western part of our state and crashing into a large hole in the road. The Junaluska Fire Department in Haywood County, west of Asheville, shared photos of the scene. The crash happened Saturday night. Authorities say they needed to use a rope system to get into the collapsed portion of the road near the Pigeon River to pull the woman from the car, and she later died at the hospital. Authorities have not yet released the woman's name.
This morning, we're working to learn if any charges will be filed after this crash here. A driver went right through the wall of the Once Upon a Child store in Raleigh and narrowly missed a woman and 2 children who were inside. This happened at the store on Triangle Plantation Drive yesterday afternoon. Witnesses say an older man in a truck who appeared to be disoriented crashed into that building. No injuries ultimately were reported out of this.
Covering Wake County, parents have one last chance tonight to give their thoughts on a plan to move thousands of students to new schools. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside Wake County School headquarters this morning. Kelsey, the plan will affect many families in the southern part of Wake County.
Renee, thousands of families could be impacted by this. So parents, tonight is your last chance to share your opinion. Wake County school leaders will meet here at the school board headquarters later this evening. 4 new schools will be opening next year, and 1 elementary school in Apex will be renovated to make space for more students. This may force about 2,000 students to change schools. Frustrated parents have started petitions, spoken at board meetings, and reached out to staff. They expressed concerns about how far away their children's new schools would be from their homes. In response to that, the district says they will be more generous with their stability rules. That would allow more students to stay at their current school, even if they are reassigned. The district also changed neighborhoods that are on the reassignment list. Tonight's meeting is scheduled for 5:30, and then the board is set to make a final vote on the reassignment plan November 26th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
A man faces felony charges after troopers say he led them on a chase that ended with a crash in Durham. Sky 5 flew over that scene of that crash on Anger Avenue yesterday afternoon. State Highway Patrol says the chase started when a trooper tried to stop the car on Crown Parkway, and then it ended when the driver hit a pickup truck and 2 utility poles. Troopers later determined the car was stolen. The driver is 27-year-old Michael Hester, Jr. of Creedmoor. He was charged and taken to the Durham County Jail.
Tonight, you can share your thoughts on what the city of Durham should prioritize in its next budget. A community forum is happening from 5 to 7:30 at Durham County South Regional Library on South Alston Avenue. This is one in a series of 7 events where people can talk about their funding priorities.
Today, the House and Senate returned to Capitol Hill after a month-long recess. This is a live look at the Capitol building here this morning. And lawmakers have a lot to get done before their session ends December 20th. It's a lame duck Congress, as many of those members will not be returning in January. They have about 5 weeks to pass a funding bill to keep the government open. And another pressing concern is the National Defense Authorizations Act. The House and Senate have separate versions on the table. They also face pressure to approve more disaster relief money after Hurricanes Helene and Milton. This morning, Republicans are just a few seats away from taking control of both chambers of Congress. That's when the new session starts in January. There are still 14 races too close to call. NBC News has projected 215 seats for Republicans, 206 for Democrats. A party needs 218 seats for control of the House.
In a game that ended after midnight, the Carolina Hurricanes are leaving Las Vegas with another win under their belts. The Canes jumped out to a 4-0 lead on the Golden Knights in the first 2 periods. They went on to get the win 5-2. The Canes are now 11-3 on the season. Their next game will be tomorrow night in Utah. At least 3 people break into an electronics studio, stealing thousands of dollars worth of equipment. How the owner of the business says the thieves were able to get in.
And terrifying moments for passengers on board a Spirit Airlines plane after it was hit by gunfire. We'll hear from some of those passengers.
A comfortable day today after yesterday's front. We're starting in the 50s this morning. We'll climb to almost 70 this afternoon with a lot of sunshine. But temperatures will really take a dive tonight. I'll show you who has the best chance of seeing some patchy frost.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:12, and we have a beautiful morning in store this morning. Temperatures are in the mid-50s as you're stepping out the door, so it feels really comfortable. Skies cleared after yesterday's front that came through. We have a beautiful day in our forecast, and the kids at the bus stop might need a light jacket with those temperatures mainly in the 50s, but still pretty comfortable out there. And feeling great this afternoon. High temperatures will climb into the upper 60s with lots of sunshine. Could be just a little bit breezy when the kids get off the bus this afternoon. We'll see some gusts up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. But again, temperatures in the 60s this afternoon, lots of sunshine, feeling really good out there. We do have some cooler temperatures that are on the way. Our temperatures will drop into the 50s for tomorrow and Thursday. We'll talk about who could see some patchy frost tomorrow morning. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We're staying on top of this breaking news here on Cary. I-40 at Avon Ferry Road. There's a crash on near exit 293. That's the exit-only lane that takes you to US 1 and all points west. You can see the backup that is causing courtesy of Live Cam Network. We also have Sky 5 over that scene right now that's showing exactly what's going on. The WRAL breaking news tracker on the scene is telling us that all indications are that this is a fatal incident. You can see a Sky 5 pulls back. That backup stretches all the way back past Gorman Street. And eventually, depending on how the congestion that's beginning to build, this could go all the way back to Lake Wheeler Road. If you're coming in from Garner, Knightdale, all points east, and you're trying to get to the west, I would get off on Lake Wheeler Road, South Saunders, even Rock Quarry Road, work your way over to Tryon Road, Walnut Street, Dilla Drive, possibly over to US 1, and then back to I-40 westbound and the Beltline this morning, because this is virtually a parking lot out there in I-40 westbound. Of course, the eastbound lanes are moving along just fine. This is what it looks like, courtesy of a Live Cam Network. You can see that backup going all the way back. Of course, we'll have an update in the next 10 minutes as to actually how this is going to continue to affect your morning traffic.
It could be affecting those surface streets as well pretty soon there. Ken, thanks. Youngsville police are searching for at least 3 people who broke into an electronics warehouse. Take a look at this video. Security video from inside the GPU warehouse. It shows, this is almost out of a movie, crawling on the floor to try to avoid a security sensor after they cut a hole in the side of the building. They also broke through an HVAC vent before busting out a window in an office. The owner, Jesse Martinez, says they used those 3 points of entry to ultimately get away with $30,000 worth of Camry equipment.
They're kind of going through your stuff. Definitely feels very different. You know, this is my business, but at the same time, it's pretty much my home.
And we're working to learn from the Youngsville Police Department if they have any leads in this case.
A Spirit Airlines flight from Florida was hit by gunfire while trying to land in Haiti yesterday. WRAL's Michelle McConaughey is here now with reaction from passengers on that plane. Michelle.
Yeah, Renee, this was so scary. A terrifying flight for so many. The plane was forced to divert to the Dominican Republic where it landed safely. But take a look at the bullet holes that came through the door of the plane. A flight attendant suffered minor injuries, but no passengers were hurt. Spirit Airlines confirmed that after the plane was inspected in Dominican Republic, damage consistent with gunfire was discovered. Passengers described the terrifying event, saying it was really intense.
Bullets hit the fuselage. And then the plane, which was cruising into a regular landing, hit the gas and took altitude and got the heck out of the Port-au-Prince area.
Other passengers said when this happened, the pilot didn't say exactly what happened. He just said due to the circumstances on the ground in Haiti, they would be diverting. The attack marks the second time in under a month that an aircraft has been targeted while flying over Haiti's capital.
Time is 6:16 this morning here in the WRAL Live Center. Here's what we're watching for our Economy Watch this week. We have a couple key reports coming out and regarding the prices that consumers and producers are paying, including the Consumer Price Index, Producer Price Index, and retail sales over the course of the next couple of days. The other thing that we're watching here as well, U.S. futures, not quite seeing that boost that we saw after President-elect Donald Trump won the election there, but things are mostly unchanged. We'll be looking to see how investors are doing on the stock market when the opening bell happens this morning.
Chris, thanks for that. Winter weather. Check this out. It's causing issues for drivers in parts of Northern California as several passes in the Sierra Mountains are closed this morning because of dicey conditions there. Some people on Highway 50 in El Dorado County had to wait for hours for the road to reopen yesterday. So some of them took the time there to, as you see, throw some snow chains on their tires. Can you imagine? 6:17, the time right here, and we have a lovely start to our Tuesday here. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with several looks around our area.
It's beautiful out there. Gorgeous sunrise in progress here in Fayetteville and, of course, everywhere. But this camera is just really capturing it nicely. We take a look at Apex, Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And, of course, Raleigh. We're seeing clear skies everywhere. There could be some patchy fog in some low-lying spots, creek bottoms, rural areas. But for the most part, we are just seeing a beautiful start to the day. We will see some much-needed rain on Thursday, and the temperatures are really going to fall. Our rain chances for Thursday are really going to be for most of the day. It starts in the morning and may even continue overnight and into early Friday. We could see 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain, and that's the most rain that we've seen in, well, since September. So, boy, do we need it. Here's the front back to the west, and it doesn't look too impressive right now, but it is going to grab up some of this rain here along the Gulf Coast and help to push it into our area sort of along and ahead of the front. You could see that. Here's that Gulf moisture that's going to be coming in to, give us a better chance of some measurable rain. For tomorrow, we stay dry, but of course the low and the front will continue to track eastward, starting to bring us some rain on Thursday morning. That continues Thursday night and into early Friday. You can still see some of that at 4 o'clock on Friday, closer to the coast. So part of the day Friday may be a little wet as well. Temperatures really will start to drop tonight and tomorrow, and so there could be a bit of a wintry mix in the mountains. That's that purple shaded area. Now, we're not going to see any of that here, but we really haven't seen any much wintry precipitation. I think the mountains saw just a little dusting of snow about 3 weeks or so ago. We'll start to see some showers in the morning, the latter part of the morning commute, not first thing. So around 8, 9, 10 o'clock, depending on where you are. And then that will continue into the afternoon. Looking at an average of about 1/2 inch. We could see some higher totals in some spots or, lower in other spots. But we should average about 1/2 inch of rain. And it's an 80% chance for us Thursday and a 30% chance for the first half of Friday. Tropical update. We keep watching this area in the Caribbean. 70% chance that develops. If it gets a name, it would be Sarah. It is likely to push northward on up into the Gulf of Mexico if it does develop. And again, we've got that 70% chance in the next 7 days. Right here is the potential for a tropical depression. And you see those darker red areas. That's a 90% chance of developing. And if it does develop, this is one of the models. Now, there are a lot of different solutions for this, but you can see it moving up through the Caribbean and up into the Gulf of Mexico, possibly by next Wednesday, which is about a week from now. So we'll definitely have a close eye on that. The biggest story really for this week is the rain that we'll see on Thursday, and the fact that it's going to be so much cooler too. We're going to talk about who could see some frost tomorrow morning, Ken.
6:20, Elizabeth, we're staying on top of that breaking news there in Cary. Let's get right to it. At I-40 westbound near US 1, you can see the traffic that's backed up all the way past Gorman Street this morning. Right now, this is courtesy of a live cam network at I-40 and Avon Ferry Road. You can see the backup that it's causing. Let's take you right to Sky 5. You can see right now this incident is happening right near exit 293. That's the exit-only lane in those westbound lanes that takes you to US 1 and all points west. As Sky 5 pulls back, you can see that backup stretches all the way back past Gorman Street. If you're listening to us on the radio at 101.5 HD3, get off on Lake Wheeler Road, work your way over to Tryon, Dilla Drive, Walnut Street, over to US 1, and then work your way back to the Beltline and I-40 westbound this morning. Our crew on the scene is indicating that this is a fatal incident right now, and from what we're hearing from our friends at Raleigh Wake 911, this situation can be this way for the next hour or two. So definitely, if you're getting ready to head out, make sure you're tuning us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. You can listen to us anywhere in the triangles. You can see that backup that's stretching for at least 2 miles right now. You also have a couple more options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Thanks, Ken. A nationwide drought is sparking wildfires from coast to coast. The new danger people from California to New Jersey are facing as fires burn thousands of acres.
Cyber attackers hit Food Lion, the services affected by this, and what it means for the information you may have there.
And here's another live look at a part of I-40 westbound in Cary near US 1 shut down because of a crash that's killed a pedestrian. Sky 5 showing us the backup that extends for 2 miles. Nick Perlin is there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. He will give us an update from the ground after the break.
I'm Nick Perlin in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker along I-40 East on the other side of where that crash that Ken just talked about is currently being investigated. We do know at least one person has been killed in this crash, and all lanes of I-40 West are closed. We're still trying to find out what led up to this crash and who the identity of that person who was killed is. Of course, Ken Smith in the Traffic Center is going to continue to update you on how you can get around this as the morning commute continues. In Raleigh, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Tom Cruise is taking on another Mission Impossible.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
He is such the daredevil, right? Paramount Pictures giving us a first look at the 8th Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning.
And now the fate of every living soul on Earth is your responsibility.
Theaters next May around Memorial Day weekend.
It was that pandemic delayed movie, The Final Reckoning. Makes you think maybe this is it.
Hopefully not.
Cruise says not so fast.
Yeah.
In the trailer, he's doing a lot of running. He's good at it. All right, Ken, thank you. Durham Public Schools' new superintendent wants to hear from you about your experience with the district. Anthony Lewis is holding a meeting tonight to speak to families, students, staff, and community members. Tonight's meeting will be at 6:30 at Northern High School.
Following breaking news out of Durham, where a man is dead and a second man has serious injuries after a shooting. Police say this happened in the same area where another man was shot just over 24 hours ago.
And it's a gorgeous start. Take a live look here at RDU. You can see that sunrise in progress. Temperatures are comfortable now, but turning a lot colder in the next 24 hours. We'll take a look.
And we are staying on top of the big backups on I-40 West this morning in Cary. This is because of a crash near the US 1 exit that killed a pedestrian. Sky 5 giving you this live look at all those brake lights. Ken Smith will be right back with a look at how you can get around this crash this morning.